Welcome students. So in the last class we have concluded the sp2 hybridization. Okay, till sp2 hybridization we have completed out there. Let's move further, and in this class we are going to talk about the sp3 hybridization. Okay, so sp3 hybridization, here from the word only we know that here 1s and 3p, that is z axis p, x axis p, and y axis p. All these three axis p's will be combined with each other to form a hybridized sp3 orbital. Okay, sp3 orbital, which will be look like something like this. The shape of the sp3 hybridized orbital will be something like this, with nodes here minus sign, node here minus sign, node here minus sign, and the node here minus sign. Okay, these are the tetrahedral shape. Okay, it is obtaining a tetrahedral shape here, and it is sp3 hybrid orbital. So taking an example to understand sp3 orbital, we are taking the example of CH4. Okay, so here carbon, the carbon's valence electronic configuration is 2s2 2p4, 2s2 2p4. So px, py, and pz. Sorry, not 2p4 here, it is 2p2, it is 2p2, that is like this. So what will happen here, all these four orbitals, okay, all these four orbitals will combine with each other, and they will form hybrid sp3 orbital. Okay, they will form hybrid sp3 orbital, and each orbital, okay, each orbital, that is 2s1. Okay, 2s1, it will convert to sp3, it will also convert to sp3 like this, and all the hybrid orbitals will share one electron, that is they will become half-filled orbitals. And due to this reason, the shape of the orbitals, it will change to something like this. Okay, this will become with the shape for the carbon atom here, and four hydrogen atoms will form head-on overlapping here. Okay, they will form head-on overlapping with the four hybrid orbitals here of the carbon, and they will form CH4. Okay, they will form CH4. So the CH4 structure will be something like this, and here the nodes, okay, the carbon atoms nodes will something look like this. This is the node with lobes. Okay, these are the lobes and nodes. This will be the sp3 hybridized orbital shape. One node will be here and one will be here in the below part. Okay, and the shape for the CH4, it will be something like this: C H H H. Okay, and one H will be here at the above. The bond angle will be here 109.5 degree, and we will see that all the hydrogen atoms are attached to each other like this. Okay, so this is the shape for the CH4. Similarly, let's see the NH3 also, NH3. But here the change is that here four bond is not there. One lone pair and three bond pairs are there. It is also a type of sp3 hybridized orbital only. Okay, here Nitrogen's outermost shell, it is having 2s and 2p3, 2s2 2p3. But here, as we know that the full-filled or half-filled, all types of orbitals, they collaborate with each other to form hybridized orbital. Okay, they form hybridized orbital. sp3 hybridized orbital has been found out here. So for nitrogen, what will happen here? Here the change will be that one hybrid orbital will be containing the lone pair of electrons. They are not shared with any other hydrogen atom. While the three hybrid orbitals, they will be sharing or forming covalent bond with the hydrogen atoms. They will be forming three covalent bonds with the hydrogen atom there, like this: hydrogen, hydrogen, and hydrogen. Okay, three hydrogen atoms will be formed, bond pair will be formed out here, and one lone pair will be present here. So the structure for the ammonia will be something like this, with one lone pair at the top. Okay, and the bond angle here is 170. So this is the structure for ammonia, which is also sp3 hybridized. Next is the example with two lone pairs. Okay, and it is also sp3 hybridized, where oxygen is sp3 hybridized. So oxygen, it is having outermost shell, that is the outermost shell is having 2s, 2 and 2p6, 2p4. So 2p4 will be like this: px, py and pz, 2px, 2py and 2pz. Okay, so here all the four, okay, all the four orbitals, it will combine with each other to form sp3 hybridized orbital, and the structure here, it will become something like this: oxygen with two lone pairs. Okay, one lone pair here and the other lone pair will be here, and two hybrid orbitals, they will be something like this, which will be forming bond with the hydrogen atom, hydrogen and hydrogen. So the structure of oxygen with two lone pairs and bent structure for hydrogen, it is something like this, and the angle here is 104.5 degree. Next is the sp3 dehybridization. Okay, next is the sp3 hybridization, where we will see that the d orbital is also included. Okay, sp3 dehybridization, where d orbital is also included. So here in sp3 hybrid orbital, 3p orbitals and the dz orbital, okay, dz orbital of the d subshell is included here to form this sp3 hybridization. So we are taking the example of pcl5 here. Okay, pcl5. So here the central atom will be p, which is going undergoing hybridization. So p, it is having 3s2, 3p3, 3px, 3py, 3pz, 3p3 and 3d0. Okay, 3d0. So out of 3, the 3dz square orbital will take place in the hybridization, and here the orbital which is formed out here, it will be hybrid orbitals will be sp3d. It will look like this, and these are the sp3d hybridized orbital with 1 electron present in their orbitals. Now when they will form PCl5, here 1 electrons for Cl will be given to them from the Cl side, and hence they will be forming PCl5 here. Okay, 1 electrons will be collaborated to their half filled orbitals by the chlorine here, and hence they will form the PCl5. Next is the structure. The structure for PCl5, it will be trigonal bipyramidal. Okay, Cl, 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 and below also Cl. So here a triangular plane is there, and one above, one below chlorine is there. Okay. Next is the sp3d2, sp3d2, where one s 3p and 2d orbitals, that is the d orbitals will be dz square and the d x square minus y square orbital will be taking place there. Okay, so here we can take the example of sf6, where S is the central atom. Okay, sulfur is the central atom, so it will undergo hybridization, and the hybridization will be something like this: 2s and 2p4. Okay, 2s and 3s and 3p4, and 3d orbital will be there, vacant 3d orbital will be there. So here two vacant orbitals of d and four orbitals of the 3s and 3p, it will take place, it will mix with each other, and to form hybrid orbital of sp3d2. Okay, they will form hybrid orbital for sp3d2, and they will share half filled electrons for each 5 shell, and f will collaborate each of the atom here, each of the orbital here, one electron, and hence the formation of SF6 will take place here. Okay, the formation of SF6 will take place. Next is the one of the special hybridization, that is DsP2, where we will see that inner d orbital is taking place. Okay, inner d orbital is taking place for the formation of such type of compounds. So here the coordinate compounds or the complex compounds form this type of compounds. Okay, form this type of hybridization. For example, nickel tetracyano. Okay, nickel tetracyano ion, it will form this kind of hybridization. Here we will see that is the nickel. Okay, nickel, it is having the electronic configuration 3d 3d 8, 3d 8, 1 2 3 4 6 7 8. Okay, 4s2, and the 4p is empty. So in this type of atom, what will happen? The inner d orbital, okay, inner d orbital will collaborate here to form the here 2 will be there, no third p share will be taken out. The p orbital will not fully participate here, only 2 orbitals from the 4p will participate here, and the inner d orbital will take place, and it will participate here in the hybridization, and hence this type of hybridization is termed as inner d orbital hybridization. Okay, and this type of hybridization is generally seen in the complex compounds. So the structure for the formation for such type of compounds will be something like this: 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, Here what has happened, after the formation of hybrid orbital, this particular electron, it will move towards the next before, okay, it's a preceded orbital where no electrons were, where half filled electrons were present, and it will take the place there, and it will become empty, total empty. And there the cyanide, it will collaborate one pair of electron there. Okay, it will collaborate the pair of electron there. And similarly here also the pair of electron will be collaborated, because two electrons will be needed here, which will be easily given from the 4s and the shell there. Okay, so here we will see that one d orbital from the inner one and 2p orbital from the farther one, okay, farther from the outermost shell, they will collaborate here to form dsp2 hybridization. Okay, so this is the dsp2 hybridization, and the structure of here, the nickel tetra will be square planar. Okay, it will be square planar. Square planar. So these were the different hybridized structure for the compound. Now let's move to the next topic, that is the molecular orbital theory. Okay, molecular orbital theory, which is also a part of the VBT only. Valence bond theories part it is only. So let's discuss about the molecular orbital theory. It was developed by Hund and Mulliken. Okay, it was developed by Hund or and Mulliken around in 1932. The basic idea for molecular orbital theory is that as atomic orbitals of individual atom combine to form molecular orbitals, so similarly the electrons in the molecules are present in the molecular orbitals, which are associated with several nuclei. So these molecular orbitals are also filled in the same way as we are filling the molecule atomic orbitals also. So what are some of the silent features? Okay, what are some of the features of molecular orbital theory? Let's see the features of the molecular orbital theory. So just like an atom, molecule has orbitals of definite energy levels. Okay, they will be having the energy levels that is also definite. Like electrons of atoms are present in atomic orbitals. Okay, like electrons of atoms are present in atomic orbitals, electrons in molecules are present in molecular orbital. Okay, they are present in molecular orbitals. The next feature is that molecular orbitals, the molecular orbitals are formed by are formed by are formed by the combination of atoms, are formed by the combination of atoms. Okay, molecular orbitals are formed by the combination of atomic orbitals. Okay, they are formed by the combination of atomic orbitals of proper symmetry and comparable energies and comparable energies. Next, an electron in a molecular orbital sorry, in an atomic orbital is under the influence of one nucleus only. Okay, it is under the influence of one nucleus only. But while in case of molecular orbital, okay, while in molecular orbital, it is under influence of two or more orbit nucleus. Okay, two or more nuclei. Next, the just as the electron probability distribution, just as the electron probability distribution around the nucleus of an atom, nucleus of an atom, the electron possibility, the electron probability, the electron probability around a group of nuclei, around a group of nuclei, group of nuclei is given by molecular orbital theory, molecular orbitals only. Next, the number of molecular orbital, the number of molecular orbitals formed is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals, combining atomic orbitals, and uh, two atomic orbitals combine to form two molecules. If we are saying that two atomic orbitals are combining to form two molecular orbitals, two molecular orbitals. So then they are called bonding molecular orbitals, bonding molecular orbitals, and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Two types of molecular orbitals will be formed out here, which will be bonding molecular orbitals and one will be anti-bonding molecular orbitals. The next is the bonding molecular orbital has lower energy. Okay, they are having the lower energy and has greater stability. Okay, they possess the greater stability, while while anti-bonding has higher energy, and is less stable also. Okay, due to this reason they are less stable. Next, the molecular orbitals are filled in the same way, in same way an atomic orbital is been filled, same way as an atomic orbital is been filled. Orbitals is filled according to F-Bauer's principle, Hund's rule, and Pauli's exclusion theory. Okay, all these rules will be followed out here also for filling up the electrons in the molecular orbitals also. Now, the linear combination of atomic molecular orbital. Okay, here we will see that two atoms. Okay, two atomic orbitals with two nucleus. They will combine with each other to form a molecule. Okay, they will combine with each other to form the molecule here, and their structure will something look like this. The molecular orbital will something look like this. Okay, and this is the bonding atomic orbital. Okay, this is the bonding atomic orbital. And for anti-bonding atomic orbital, okay, anti-bonding molecular orbital, it will be minus here separation will take place, and due to this reason the anti-bonding orbital will be having the shape something like this. Okay, one negative and one positive will be there, and due to this reason they will be having the shape structure something like this. Positive, here it will be not negative, dot. Okay, so this will be the structure for the or formation for the bonding MO, that is molecular orbital, bonding molecular orbital, and this is the anti bonding molecular orbital which is having higher energy. Next, let's see the relative energies. Okay, how to represent the orbitals. Okay, if I am saying that two 1s are being concluded, okay, two 1s are being two 1s are forming here, are combining here to form a molecule here, then the representation of their energy levels will be something like this. Here one orbital, and here one orbital, molecular orbital will be there. It will be sigma 1ns with star to denote the anti-bonding and sigma 1s to denote the bonding. Okay, so these are the this is the higher energy orbital, that is anti-bonding, and this is the lower energy orbital, that is the bonding molecular orbital. Okay. For P, if this was for the S1, okay. For P, if we are to combine and form a molecular orbital, let's say 2pz, negative positive, positive negative, they are collaborating with each other to form a molecular orbital here, something like this: positive, positive, negative, negative. So they will form structure something like this: negative, negative, and here it will be positive. Okay, and this will form bonding to prism. But if they are forming the anti-bonding orbital, okay, if they are forming the anti-bonding orbital, then they will be collaborating here, and the resultant will be plus minus will be collaborating with each other, and the resultant will be the minus node minus and minus with a positive node. This will be the molecular, but with this will be anti-bonding. This will be anti-bonding. For pi bonds, for the pi bonds, the bonding and anti-bonding can be represented as plus minus plus plus minus. So they will laterally, okay, they will laterally collaborate with each other to form the pi bond. That is, for bonding, it will be something like this. It is pi 2px, 2px and 2px. But for anti-bonding, plus minus plus 2px. If they are collaborating, so the collaboration will be opposite. That is, plus will collaborate with negative and negative will collaborate with positive, and due to this reason they will form anti-bonding orbital, which will look like this. Negative, positive, negative, positive. This will be the anti-bonding pi bond for 2p. Okay, so these are some of the structures for the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals for the different orbital, that is s orbital or p orbital. Next, in the next class, we are going to see some of the examples for the molecular orbitals for different compounds such as H2, N2, Li2. Okay, and we will discuss about the compounds that is generally bicompounds or ozone and like this other elements which are whose important molecular orbitals are there, which is generally asked in the paper also. So for today we are concluding class here only, and in the next class we will continue this chapter further. So thank you.